Ron, even though you got over the line relatively easily, it was a struggle out there for you, wasn't it? In the post-match interviews, you were sort of saying you're struggling to get on the shots right with your back.
Yeah, just struggling to get online and get the cue on the chest, and when you're playing, normally the cue and the body just feel like a unit, and at the moment they're not working as a unit, so I'm having to fight it out there, but sometimes you have to do that, and that's what I've done.
You're not the type of person that just turns up to make the numbers up, never been the case. So this is the first tournament of the season for you. You've come here to win, and it must have been a tough challenge knowing that your back wasn't absolutely perfect.
Yeah, but like I say, I was in the tournament and I decided to enter, and so I'm here now, and so I have to try and forget about all that stuff about not feeling right in a shot and just kind of go with what I've got, and hopefully find some spells or moments where I can produce some decent snooker to give me half a chance.
You were made to fight hard in your first match against Mark Williams. That was a tough opener.
Yeah, well, Mark's always going to make it tough. He's although he's a brilliant player, he's got that ability to just be dogged and fight hard, and probably one of the best match players we've ever had. So yeah, it was a nice match to play because we know each other's game really well. So I was fortunate to get over the line in the end.
In your second match against Mark Selby, did you expect more of him? In the build-up, you were talking it as if you were going to expect a bit more.
You always expect a tough match with Mark, but if he scores well, he'll win most of the matches he plays, because tactically and his temperament-wise, there is no one better in the game. But he just wasn't scoring as much as he'd probably like to have done. But if he does score, then he's probably the favourite to win any tournament he plays in, really. But luckily for me, he didn't really fire, and I played probably my best game of the tournament against Mark.
The last time you had a big layoff, the player you played in the final was Barry Hawkins. You've had a fair layoff this time, and once again, Barry Hawkins.
Yeah, Barry's been probably the best player of the tournament, along with maybe Judd Trump, really for the standard that they've produced match after match. And Barry's a great cueist, great temperament, and a great break builder as well. He's quite efficient amongst the balls. Never seems to move the white ball that far, so he's always someone, as a snooker player, you like to watch some of that, But I think when I played him in the world final the year before, I'd played a lot of snooker, so even though I'd had a long layoff, I still felt I'd had a good foundation from all the matches that I'd played from the previous year. Whereas maybe over the last 18 months, 2 years, I've probably took my eye off the ball and haven't probably played anywhere near as much as I should have done, really. And I think maybe that's as well part of why my game's not as strong as it probably was 2 or 3 years ago.
You're obviously the favourite coming to the match. In your own eyes, you're experienced enough to be able to take that on your shoulders?
Yeah, I don't get fazed by me being the favourite. I know probably because of tournaments I've won and that, compared to Barry, people would probably say he's got more experience in them situations. But if Barry plays how he did today and I play how I did tonight, then I know who I would want to be on. I know whose corner I'd like to be in, but I'm not going to discount myself, because I know that I could find a gear, and if I do find a gear, then I'll be able to apply some sort of pressure to Barry and hopefully have some sort of impact on the game.
And just to allay the fears for Ronnie O'Sullivan fans, your back, it's not in pain, it's not like 2 sessions you're going to struggle by the end of it, it's more just a stranger feeling. It's not something that could go at any moment in sort of second session.
No, not at all. I've gone past that phase. It's just about starting to feel, starting to know your own body, and at the moment I can't feel where my knee, my back, my arm, I feel very uncoordinated, really, so I feel quite off balanced. Every now and again I feel okay, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just, it's not too bad then. But there were spells out there when I played Stuart in the semi-finals where, it was a real struggle.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, I'm going to need it.
Head-to-head between the two players points emphatically towards a Ronnie O'Sullivan victory.
Yeah, it's not ideal for Barry. You're playing against someone that I think he's only beaten him once, but hopefully the occasion today is big enough that he can forget all those defeats.
And of course, Barry Hawkins, arguably one of the most underrated players. He's been to the final of the World Championship. Somewhere down the line, he's going to convert one of these.
Well, you would think so. Obviously, he's unfortunate he came up against Ronnie in the final of the world. He's coming against Ronnie today and the Ronnie O'Sullivan show. So it's going to be a big test for him today.
OK, let's talk about Ronnie O'Sullivan. He plays some of the most amazing shots last night. The whole crowd is in uproar. They're cheering, standing up. He comes in the press room and in the studio and goes, "Oh, I'm playing rubbish." I'm like, yeah, it's just not going right. I mean, like, I can't hit 2 balls the same. And what's going on? Is it him talking himself down for a reason? Is that what he feels? Because you wouldn't have come in and said that, would you? You'd have been going, I'm playing brilliant. Somebody's got to play their brains out to beat me.
Yes, you know, but I think none of the players pay any attention to what Ronnie says anymore. I think, to be honest, I think they get used to those sort of interviews. But Ronnie will be up for it today. He seems to need a little bit of a spark to spark him into life. Something like last night, he won a frame needing a snooker. Things like that will get him going.
OK, back to Hazel.
Absolutely right. If you are a believer in the stats, they point firmly towards O'Sullivan. 9 wins to Hawkins 1, as you said, in previous contests, including that 2013 World Championship final and a Crucible semi-final the following year. But those figures don't reflect just how well Hawkins has performed to get into this final, or indeed how much of a struggle Ronnie says he's having with his game right now after taking 8 months away from the sport. So what are we going to get from both men? We're about to find out as we get this year's Alphabet Masters final underway. MC Rob Walker, it's over to you.
Thanks, Hazel. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's the big one. Welcome to the final of the 2016 Alphabet Masters. It has been one of the best weeks in the 41-year history of this tournament, and now we get to see a finish with a flourish. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the boys on the bays. Please welcome a player who has come of age over the last few seasons. He won his first ranking title in Australia 4 years ago and hasn't looked back since, beating Judd Trump to book his place in a maiden Masters final. This is one of the biggest matches of his career so far. So let's hear Ali Pali roar for the eagle-eyed Barry Hawkins. And his opponent, a player who has been thrilling Masters crowds here in London for more than 2 decades now, bidding for a record equaling 6th title in this tournament. 5 times a champion of the world. Blink and you'll miss him. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, it's a best of 19 frames final, played over 2 sessions. We've got 8 frames to play this afternoon, and we're going to spend them in the company of 2 men who are no strangers themselves to Masters finals. 2-time runner-up Ken Doherty and the 1987 champion Dennis Taylor. Afternoon, guys.
Very good. It's cold outside, but it's certainly warm in the Ali Pali, and the usual photographs being taken there before the start of a final. And what are we in for this afternoon? Can Barry Hawkins reproduce that form that he did against Judd Trump? 3 centuries and 2 70 breaks. That's what he needs to do, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. Players with the traditional handshake. And I must say, Dennis, the atmosphere, as you said, is electric. I can't wait for this to start. And of course, both lads being from London as well. Got a lot of
Thank you, the first frame.
friends and
Barry
family
Hawkins to
in.
break.
What an introduction for both players. And that's what they're playing for. Who's going to lift that beautiful Waterford Crystal trophy tonight. It's an interesting matchup, isn't it, Dennis? You know, played each other, of course, in the World Final. Ronnie has a great record against Barry Hawkins, but I suppose everything goes out the window, doesn't it, now? It's a different setting.
Well, just look at the pace of the table. He just played that gently, and the white still went up past the bulk colours. Wasn't the best break-off shot from Barry, but look at that white, just kept on rolling.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
May need the extension here to get back down the table. He can't get off the reds next to the pink, so pretty straightforward safety shot.
Thank you.
Good length with the cue ball. And what Barry would give to have a start like he had against Judd Trump. 2 century breaks in the first 2 frames. And I just got a little glimpse of Steve Peters there, who's been working with Ronnie for a few years. Just 2 in there, sitting next to Jason Francis, who runs the Legend Snooker. That's Steve in the middle there. That was a half chance that Barry let slip there. Well, he didn't risk the pot there, played the safety shot, but he's left one over the pocket and the black's gone over the other pocket. The only problem here is the white will be going towards the red, so he'll have to be a little bit careful. He could snooker himself on the black, but it's a decent chance here.
I'm sure he'll be hitting it with a lot of pace, trying to get that cue ball over left-hand side of the table. Well, at the moment, a little bit of a nervy start for Barry Hawkins. Okay, it wasn't that easy when you're tied up against the cushion, but would have expected him to pot it.
1.
And the black spot is not covered, and it may pot into the bottom right-hand corner pocket. Interesting to see. It's not the best shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. It could have come out another 12 or 18 inches there.
8.
Okay, still on this red, but really wanted to have his hand on the table.
Nine.
Good recovery.
Well, as Hazel was saying at the top of the show, Ronnie, trying to reach 6 Masters title to equal Stephen Hendry's 6 wins, and the greats in the game always seem to start an opening frame so well. The number of times Stephen Hendry
15.
made a century break in the opening frame was amazing. They just seem to have a knack of getting off to a quick start.
16.
That was just a little bit straight on the black. Yeah, they always had a knack of setting their stall out very early, didn't they? Their intentions. Stephen Hendry, Steve Davis, of course, as well.
23. $24. $31.
Yeah, he's got an angle if he wishes. Played for the red in the middle pocket. Wasn't quite a good angle just to nudge the red away. That's just above the black to open those 2 up.
$40.
Well, just the wrong side of the blue, so he's got a bit of a problem here. Medium length pot, so not
45.
as easy as it would have been had he been the correct side of the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
45 break, but you'd be disappointed, Ronnie. He didn't win the frame from that position. Just coming short in the blue there, curtailed his break. I think it's so important for Barry Hawkins in this final, Dennis, particularly to get a good start. As we know how good of a front runner Ronnie is. He can just steamroll you. He gets a couple of frames, and so it's important for Barry to set his stall out early in the match and try and put Ronnie under a little bit of pressure and get a couple of frames early on the scoreboard.
Yeah, he's just a little bit out at the moment, but he'll settle for that. He didn't intend to play there. And that's Harrison, his son there, who I think was introduced to the crowd beforehand. Rob Walker sometimes brings a couple of youngsters out to emulate what's going to happen a little bit later, and Barry came running out of the practice room to see his son in the arena.
That was a tremendous shot, wasn't it? I need to swear that around the green. And the pace. Watch him swerve it. Find the angle. And then, of course, the left-hand side takes off the cushion.
He was fortunate there because he had to hit that red so thin and he didn't, but the other red helped the white to get back down the table. No attempt at the pot there, but the safety's pretty good. Now, if he can get past the green, he might be able to snick this red into the right corner. He'll be playing a safety shot, but that's what he'll have at the back of his mind. Just getting a little awkward now, the reds. And Barry needs him in open play. He's 46 behind. If he gets a chance, there's not many there to score from.
Got to be careful here. That red has just come up above the pink spot. Just made things a little bit awkward here, and he doesn't want to knock the black safe here either. That's pretty good from where he was. That's one thing about Barry Hawkins' safety, Dennis, is top quality.
He could do with an easy starter just to relax and get a little bit of confidence going, but Ronnie's making sure that he's keeping things tight here and protecting that 46-point advantage. That's pretty good if it keeps on running. Oh, another couple of rolls, and you'd have Ronnie snookered on these reds, the left side of the table, just come up a little bit short. Now then, oh, he's knocked the black safe. That's a bonus. The pink safe. But it's the first easy chance that Barry's had, but as I mentioned, there wasn't going to be a lot available for him. If he could get on the blue in such a way, he could then maybe develop the black and a couple of reds. His main thing is just to get a few pots and get a bit of confidence going, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll take a couple of these reds with blues before he even contemplates bringing the black into play just yet. Get his arm going.
Six.
Wants to try and cut that deficit. Try and take these loose reds here.
7.
There's a possibility if he gets on this red that's near the right corner pocket in such a way that he's queuing up at it. He was just looking to see, well, maybe I could play a cannon off that and knock the red and black into the open, but it's going to be difficult. Well, let's see how he finishes on this. Yeah, there's a slight chance that he could just
12.
play a cannon here. Be interesting to see if he does that or whether he concentrates on the blue. He's played the cannon and he's brought the red and the black into play, but he's a bit unlucky. He might be able to cut the brown in, but he's a bit unlucky. He freed the red and the black.
Yeah, he could have easily been on that black, couldn't he, into the left centre, and that would have certainly opened up the game. But this is still cuttable. Yeah, nice shot. Yeah.
70.
Yeah, the fact that he was left-handed, of course, made that shot a little bit easier. But if you put this red and get on the black, you've certainly got a good chance now. It's amazing how, from one shot, Dennis, he almost opened up the whole game. Just bringing that black into play.
Well, you could hear a pin drop at the moment in the Ali Pali, and it has to be said, Barry got a fantastic reception as well from this
25.
crowd when he was introduced. He's a very popular player, Barry, and a very, very likeable lad, very laid back. Players all think the world of this young man.
Thank you. 26.
Yeah, just coming around to have a look. If you can leave the cue ball just above the pink spot, you could possibly pot this red on down the right side and even bring the other one just above it into play. Yeah, nice angle. Well, he's gone a little bit too far. Didn't want to be using the rest
33.
here. Well, he can just about reach, but it's a bit awkward bridging over that blue. Well, that'll do. He's nicely on the black as well. He can screw back and get behind this red into for the opposite left center. It's been a great break so far.
41.
Just overscrewed it slightly. He wanted to just roll this in and get on the blue and then get to the yellow, because if the yellow doesn't pass the pink for the right corner, he would have had the perfect angle on the blue to bring it into play. He's got that one red that's near the cushion, which if he gets nicely on it shouldn't be a problem. The problem would be that yellow that's next to the pink. He's going to have to play the snooker now, but well, you'd have to sort of make him slight favourite now. We're 46 points each, and he's got a chance to play a good snooker, send the red up towards the black and get it in behind the pink. Well, leave it tight on the cushion, but the pink should be the snookering ball.
Barry Hawkins, 46.
Yeah, good 46 break, but hasn't got the snooker. That was a clever little shot there from Ronnie O'Sullivan, purposely using the black to keep the weight as close to this top cushion as possible. Excellent shot. He's got a full ball snooker on the red.
Yeah, all you can do is just hit that and hope that you can get it safe. And Well, Ronnie knocked a long red in against Stuart Bingham last night, which was quite incredible to win the match. So, just a little bit of tension in this opening frame, and there you can see the yellow does pass. The pink, he's just having a good look, is Barry. So if he can pot this, what a chance. It's so important to get that opening frame. It's the best of 19, but it's always nice to get the first frame on the board.
Yeah. Not the best from Ronnie. Wanted to get that red somewhere closer to this top cushion. He has a chance at the pot, but the only problem is the cue ball maybe running into the black. He's come around to have a look at the angle. It's definitely worth having a go at this.
Didn't quite get enough side on that, otherwise the white would have stayed near the cushion. So another chance at a long pot. He's knocked so many long balls in the last 8 days. And there's another one. But does the yellow now go, or is the green in the way? The green must be in the way. He's played to free it. But if the yellow doesn't pass the blue, then it's
4.
a safety shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
No, that was a beautifully controlled shot. Beautiful touch. Play it that way, dead weight almost. And this looks good, is it? Yellow needs to travel.
Well, one good long pot, and it will secure the frame. It's not an easy one. It's not there.
Thank you.
Should have already been in the second frame. Ron would be thinking he ran out of position when he was on 46. Great shot.
2.
Well, he got the main part of the shot. Now he's got to play, hopefully, what he would like to see as a snooker.
Hawkins, 2.
Nice little kiss on the blue to send the green in behind the pink. Easy to escape from, but where are they going to finish up?
could be in trouble here again. He could just roll the cue ball in behind the blue here.
Yeah, plenty of tension out there in this opening frame. And this is another decent chance for Barry. Needs to travel a bit further. It's not perfect. Just having to come away from the blue somewhat. Straight on the brown, it would just have been so easy to have clinched the frame.
He's got to try and go around the table now.
Seven.
This is certainly not easy, is it, Dennis? It's a blind pocket. Good shot. And he's nicely, well, I said nicely on the brink, but a little bit close to the cushion for comfort.
Just needs the pink. Very well played from Barry Hawkins. Ronnie started with a break of 45 and he got the wrong side of the blue. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have clinched the frame with one visit. Great comeback from Barry Hawkins. He takes the opening frame and he leads 1-0.
Barry down, and mini question for Ronnie O'Sullivan, I suppose.
Okay, frame 2.
Must be a fan of Dennis Taylor. Willie Thorne there. Nice glasses.
Well, that'll do. That just makes the safety shot a little bit more awkward when you're striking over a ball like this. And that's why Ronnie didn't even contemplate trying to come back down the table, because of that difficult cueing.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Foul and a miss. It didn't move very far. He's trying a miscue there, and he's played it well. You can have fresh air shots at snooker. You can't at golf, but he purposely miscued so that he didn't push the shot. This was the first one he was just trying, and he only, I mean, that was a good shot to only move it that far. We could do with a touching ball here just to resolve this.
Well, he might be on this red. He's having a good look at it. If he can pot it, he can certainly get on the black. Gotta be careful of that pink. Yes. Oh, he's just overrun it. Excellent shot. Purposely using the pack of reds to hold the cue ball. Now is he on this red into this left-hand corner pocket?
But I think the black
8.
is now on the brown spot, so he's got a bit of a problem. The spot was occupied. It goes to the highest available spot.
Hawkins, 8. One.
He'd like to get the red away from the black spot area before he takes the black. So he may take the yellow and play up for that. Now he doesn't mind if he can get himself onto the black.
3.
Doesn't have to play for the black here. He can quite easily get on the blue, but it'd be interesting to see how he plays it. Yeah, he's gone up for the black. Needs to travel
4.
a little bit further though. It's coming up a little bit short. Looks to be pretty straight on the black here. It needs plenty of screw back and a bit of side. And there's the screw back, and there's a little bit of side.
Just got to be careful here. He's got to find the gap when potting this red to get back on the black. Well, he's gone up for the blue. I thought it was a bit too risky, but that was beautifully cued and almost effortless. Let's have a look at the action he gets on the cue ball here. Certainly open things up now.
$17.
Where is that cue ball going?
18.
This is what happened in the opening frame. He got the wrong side of the blue and then broke down. This is a little bit awkward. He cued that beautifully from where the cue ball was, but it's still awkward. The blue back on its spot means that this red to
23.
the left corner is going to be very difficult. In fact, he doesn't even want to know about it. He's just playing twice across the table to get in behind the brown.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 23.
Well, he's left this red, and Barry may be forced into having a go at this. The only problem about taking this on, the cue ball may be going into the pack of reds around by the pink. Well, Well, that's one way of playing that safety shot.
Looks very focused today, Ronnie, and maybe that's down to Steve Peters that we showed you earlier. He's probably had a little session with him before the match because he looks pretty relaxed, pretty focused. That's Steve Peters there, the sports psychiatrist, and Damien Hirst just in the front of him there. Good friend of Ronnie's, Damien there, just on the right, smiling away. Huge Ronnie fan. Made a bit of a mess of that, but it could have been easier than this. A series of little kisses just blocked the easy pot. If this goes to the right middle, it's a better shot to get on the black. No. Yes. I thought he put it on the right-hand jaw there. Great chance now. So that was a bad mistake from Barry.
8. 9. 16. 17.
'This is where he makes the game look so easy.
24.
Such a rapid speed.
25.
Average shot time only 16 seconds. But you're right, Dennis. This certainly, he has the look of a focused man this afternoon.
32. 33.
At times during the match, maybe against Stuart Bingham, didn't look like he was up for it all the time, but certainly produced some great snooker. And 59
40.
ahead, just this red now. And Barry will need snookers.
41.
Still looks to be cueing beautifully, doesn't he?
Yeah, the opening frame, all he did wrong was just got the wrong side of the blue, and he made the break of 46. Otherwise, he would have scored enough to
47.
win the opening frame, but he's looking good here. Barry just
48.
misjudged the safety shot, and it's proven costly.
Oh, it's a wonderful little shot. He had to force the angle. He was a little bit straight on that black, but
55.
forced the angle of the cue ball into the reds and developed them.
56.
Just look at the way he forces the cue ball there.
$62. 63.
I'll tell you what, Dennis, the referee, Olivier Martel, he's got his work cut out from this afternoon and this evening. And Ronnie is flying around the table.
70.
Well, he won't be too bothered about the red into the right centre, and Ronnie O'Sullivan gets off the mark, and it's now 1 frame all.
Well, he told us last night, it's scary out there. I'm in bits a lot of the time and I feel a bit embarrassed about my performances. Those were the words of Ronnie O'Sullivan last night. How much calmer does he seem to you this morning, or indeed this afternoon?
Yeah, it looks a little bit more composed, a little bit more. There's not as much facial expressions from bad shots and things like that. It looks quite calm. They want a nice break at the end there. Again, took him 2 visits to win the frame, which obviously we're not used to when he's at his very best. But yeah, I mean, it does look a bit more composed out there today than it did last night. Perhaps
Ronnie was expected on current form to have beaten Stuart Bingham last night. Stuart has had a pretty rough feel about that today.
Listen, it's not nice. You want to keep your records, but I think it was inevitable that at some point he was going to equal this record.
What's in his sights today as we head into frame 3?
Third frame, Barry Hawkins to break.
Yes, Ronnie's nicked quite a few of Stephen Hendry's records. He's overtaken him in the centuries department. He's overtaken him in the maximums department.
One.
Great opening pot, but he's knocked some terrific long pots in throughout this year's Dafabet Masters. He really has.
Yeah, I'm not saying his long game is good, to be honest. I think over the years it may have been his Achilles heel, but this week it's been sublime.
5.
Right at the back of the pack goes, and when potting this that were released, the one just left it out into the opposite corner.
11.
Just watch the split, very good, but
18.
he's got to pull another long pot out. This will pass the blue. Right in the centre of the pocket.
$26. 27.
You might have to play a little cannon here. Better if you don't have to, but he can just nudge the red in the middle there. That certainly has opened things up. Just that
34.
one cannon has made quite a difference.
$35.
Yeah, he just changed his mind there. I mean, he did that earlier in the tournament when we've seen him jump
42.
over the black, miscued. He hadn't quite
43.
made his mind up and just played the shot and jumped over the top of the black. That's where you're playing
50.
into an area. He's gone too far for the one he wanted, but he had a choice of 3 reds there. So you put the cue ball in an area that
51.
sometimes gives you other options.
56. 57.
It's not too bad. He's got a
64.
couple of reds to go at. Stephen Hendry was talking in the studio about Ronnie O'Sullivan taking a couple of chances to win
65.
the frame, but he's certainly up and running now.
It's amazing. This is his 11th final. I know he's going for his 6th, but he's been in 11 finals. That's some going.
It's quite amazing. He hasn't played in a TV
79.
tournament since the World Championship, where he lost in that quarter-final back in April. And to come back and produce this type of snookers, just incredible.
86.
First century of the final beckons.
87.
He's already made 806 in his career. We've already had 25
94.
centuries this week. Record, I think, is 31, Dennis.
Yep, 2009, Ken.
This for the century. Absolutely superb.
101. 102.
And we're only 6.5 minutes into the frame. It's quite incredible, Dennis.
And look at this shot here. Watch the side to swing it in between the brown and the yellow. Have a little look at that shot.
109.
Can't
111.
get to the high break. Judd Trump had a magnificent break of 140 against Neil Robertson in that incredible match that had 6 centuries and 11 frames.
114.
But this is superb.
$118.
He's had a 1-2-1 already in this tournament. That
123.
supersedes that.
$129.
Absolutely fantastic from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He only needed one chance, and what did he do? He clears the table with that magnificent break of 136, and he leads 2 frames to 1.
Always, it's that red, isn't it, Dennis, that always pops its head out on the right-hand side. And Barry, of course, is trying to get across behind the green. But once that red pops itself out, it's almost like a shot to nothing. And these days, you're expecting players, and particularly of Ronnie's class, to knock that in.
A lot of players here would have tucked in behind the green because there's a few reds open, but Ronnie decided, I'll just knock the long green in, and it was the right decision because he won the frame from it.
Yeah, but you're still right about Barry Hawkins. Okay, he's going to expect Ronnie to produce some magic, there's no doubt about that, but he's still only 1 frame behind. As you said, big frame coming up. He's got to stick with Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's got to stick with him all the way through here. Try not
Thank you.
let him get away to
That
an
will
early
do.
lead.
Thank you. 4th frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, whatever you do, don't hit that blue, but at least he hasn't left one. It's turned out okay, I think.
That's a bad misjudgment from Barry Hawkins. Unless that cue ball goes behind the blue, which it hasn't done. Normally very proficient in the safety department, but oh, well.
One.
Didn't get enough spin on the ball there. He wanted to bring it out for the black, and he's not on the black.
But just look at his focus. You know, he's played a poor shot, but he hasn't bothered about it. He's just getting down and playing. Well, this is tough. That wasn't straightforward.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
It was the first shot. As you said, Ken, he didn't quite get the side, or maybe the white drifted a little touch and finished up hitting the red a little fuller than he intended. I'll just show you that first shot again. He's playing this with left-hand side and hit it sort of full ball. That's why the white didn't come away from the cushion. Referee looking carefully there.
Thank you.
One of our top referees now, Olivier Martel from Belgium, and he's a pretty good moth catcher as well. He works in a hospital in Belgium, so. It's just
Barry Hawkins
a
1.
little bit of tension on that one. He didn't miss any of these against Judd Trump. And of course, it puts added pressure on you when you've got Ronnie O'Sullivan coming behind you playing the way he is. But he can't afford to miss too many of those, Barry.
May purposely leave himself low on this black now and potting this red. Nice angle on it, the black to go into the reds in his next shot.
9.
And that's what he's done. And he's got to generate a lot of power from this just to spin it through the reds. And he's okay. Reds come over the left centre. Yeah, not
16.
get a lot of backspin on it, but he's still okay.
$17.
Yeah, listening to Ronnie's interview after the match, he was saying the pockets here seem to be just playing that little bit more generous than usual. It's only a fraction, but
23.
they're so lively, the cloths in that shot. When you play into the bunch, it's amazing how they open up easier on a very fast cloth. It still needs a lot of skill to play the shot correctly, but look how he's got the reds open now.
30.
They always seem a lot bigger when you're playing so well, Dennis, as well. It's when you're not playing too well, that's when they look a lot tighter and feel a lot tighter.
31.
At the moment, he's making them look like buckets.
You can see the referee just wagging his finger, someone probably in the audience with a camera or something. And the referee is not only to concentrate on the match, he's got to keep an eye on what's going on around
38.
the table. Fabulous crowd again, 2,000 people in Alexandra Palace. It really is magnificent. Have a look at that.
39.
He might win it in one visit again here, and the mid-session interval will be coming up after this frame. You set your stall out in little mini sessions on long matches, so Ronnie would have been
44.
thinking, if I can take this 3-1, 4-0 would be a bonus, but that's the way you look at it.
45.
thought for a minute cue ball was going to run on, and maybe
52.
it has. Is he just about on this red? Maybe not. It's 52 points ahead.
He's playing the double here.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 52.
He probably played that double in frustration more than anything else, because it wasn't like it was a shot to nothing, because he's left this red. As we see the double again, he's left this red up into the yellow pocket. Great shot.
Yeah, not that he's ran out of position many times, but in the earlier frames, if he ran out of position, he just played the
8.
straightforward safety shot. That time Ronnie risked the double, and he's let Barry back in. It was a cracking
9.
opening red. Very difficult with 3 awkward reds. But it's a chance that Barry didn't think he was going to get.
16.
He won the opening frame after Ronnie had a break of 46. Or 45 it was. But he led 46-0.
Thank you.
Yeah, what sort of an angle? If he has an angle on this
70.
black, he can maybe screw back. Well, he can screw back behind the red into the right corner.
Extend your wrist, mate. Sure. 24.
He's got a little bit of angle on this, and if he can get on the black in such a way, he could cannon the red over the left side of the table out. And he did manage that. So key shot coming up. If he pots the black, he can
25.
cannon that red out. It's one of those you keep your eye on the black as well and let the white just take care of itself and hopefully knock the black or knock the red into play. That's the alternate, dropping in behind it, being a left-hander.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You may take that option. You're never really sure when you're trying to take the red out, but certainly dropping behind it, being a left-hander, might be a better option. Just gone a little
32.
bit too far to reach it, so has to use the rest. Makes this pot a little bit more difficult. Oh, it's a great shot.
33.
Fantastic shot with the rest. And he's got a lovely angle on the black as well now.
Well, it's another very tough one he's faced with.
40.
Brilliant.
41.
A little bit straight on the black, but it was a cracking pot on the red. And you can see almost dead straight. He would need quite a bit of screw back here. He's just going to leave the longish yellow. Big shot coming up.
48.
And he didn't want that double kiss
Thank
there.
you.
expected himself to get that yellow. It was a fantastic break up till then.
2.
And what a frame it would have been to have pinched after Ronnie risked the double when he made that break of 52.
5.
9 points ahead. Ronnie checking the scores, just brown and blue required.
Put that camera away, please.
There's someone still with the camera somewhere.
9. 14.
Barry will be disappointed. He had a chance. Well, the pink goes in. Ronnie won't bother about the black. And it's another frame on the board. As Ronnie now goes into an interval lead with 3 frames to 1.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, Hazel. And well, after a very close-fought first frame, which went to Barry Hawkins, Ronnie has turned on the style a little bit with breaks of 70 in frame 2, 136 frame 3. Type of red, John, that I think has been indicative of Ronnie in this tournament. He's been knocking those in, hasn't he? And it's long games sometimes that he's just below par.
Yeah, you're right there, John, but this week it's been very good. Damien mentioned there in the studio that long red last night that he knocked in to get him over the line in the match against Stuart Bingham, and that was something special. But it's been a feature all week, you're right. It's been pretty good. I'm just wondering, John, that last frame where Barry Hawkins had a chance for that clearance, just how much of a burden that's going to have on the match. If he'd have got that, who knows?
Yeah, and I think it all boiled down to the fact that when he potted the good last red, he comes straight on the black. And the problem with coming straight on the black as he did, he couldn't get close to the yellow. But that's not the best safety shot from Ronnie. Whenever you hit a baulk colour full in the face, you're going to leave your opponent with a chance invariably. Yeah, good clean pot. Kiss on the blue hasn't really harmed things. I mean, he could play the blue, he could play the yellow, being left-handed. Playing the blue, he's got to avoid the baulk colours. So just got to be a little careful here. Not bad.
6. Thank you. 7.
Obviously the pink goes to the right corner. He'd love to get on that red that's just above the black sooner rather than later.
Yes, and he could do with a sizable contribution in one of the frames, Barry. Just win one of these in one visit.
13.
Just to start putting a bit of doubt in your opponent's mind, and also for your own confidence. Started the match yesterday against Judd Trump absolutely brilliantly. 2 century breaks
14.
right out of the blocks, and he could do with getting back to that scoring level. Nothing like changing the scoreline quickly. A little tight, but he obviously feels like there's not a problem. He's a nice, neat scorer, John, isn't he, Barry Hawkins? His cue ball control's very good.
Yeah, excellent. Say a couple of years ago when he got to the final of the World Championship, it's like he came of age.
Yeah, check.
Black spot was covered by that red. He'd like to have played on, but he didn't have the angle. But he's not perfect on this red. He's not got the angle to go up for the black. Might just be able to.
22.
He's had to leave himself a thin cut on the blue. And as I've always said, you'd rather be well off straight than just off straight. So he's just got to get in between the green and brown here.
Yeah, the way he's gone about this, John, he must have thought that black was going to spot. Because the shot he left himself, he was always going to be
27.
a bit tricky for the next colour, so...
Yeah, but looking at that, you couldn't see the black going on the spot. And we found this a little bit last night with Stuart Bingham. That it's these mid-range shots that, you know, they're difficult enough, I know, but this level, you can't afford to be missing those.
One.
Yes, no hesitation from Ronnie, immediately trying to get that red away from the
6.
black spot. So somewhere down the line, if you can continue this break, try and play position and get the black back up the table.
7.
But not ideal there.
No, just didn't get into it enough. Nice pot on the blue, though. And another chance now, you would think, to pot this red and try and get position on the black. Black on the spot certainly makes it easier for making big contributions. Needs to slow up a little.
13.
Just about okay.
He's actually got a really nice angle, I think. Off this black, we could screw in with left-hand side and into the pack. Unless there's a red going, of course, that's in that pack. But if not, it's certainly on to play the shot to open them.
Yeah, that's the line John's talking about. Well, he didn't hit the reds, he hit the pink, but, well, I don't know. He's close to the cushion. He's got a red to the left middle.
20.
But is it automatic just to roll it in and finish on the black?
I suppose the good news here, John, is that yellow getting knocked off its spot before will come in handy if he could pot the red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 20.
Well, it went past the black, but being tight under the side cushion doesn't make the pot any easier. Well, for all money, you thought he'd have run past the back of the black. Don't think you can get more than the 1 point here. There's no way you'd be tempted to play any colour, hampered as he is, and the pink and
Bramble.
black are not available.
Barry Hawkins, 1.
That's an excellent shot he's played there, and if he's covered the red on the left-hand side, it's trouble. But it doesn't look like he has. No, he can clip an edge. That was very close to being a lot of trouble.
But what a great reply from Ronnie. But it's a good target behind that yellow and brown. That's what Barry will be looking for.
Just can't get quite behind those colours at the moment, Barry. He's had a couple of chances, one behind the green and one behind the yellow there. It's just fine margins, but it's the difference between having your opponent in a lot of trouble or having your hand on the table, like he's got at the moment. Ooh, what a flick.
What a flick, absolutely. Hits the brown full in the face. It's a poor safety. Now it's an excellent one, because I'm not certain that Barry can get through direct past the green. No, I don't think he can. He'll have to play this with a trace aside. And if he catches this red too thick, it's danger.
He may just be choosing to drop on it. I don't think he can even take the chance of getting back from where he is. So, need good judgment here. And has he hit it hard enough? This is a shocker.
Foul.
One thing you couldn't beat was short. He's left him a sitter. 2 of them.
Thank you, that will do.
Yeah, could well have cost him the frame. And they hit it badly.
One.
Meant to go past that red. So that's not as planned. So a good positional shot from yellow to the next one.
Well, good pot. And it looks as though he's got a slight angle on the shred, but I was a little bit surprised after last shred he didn't play for the pink in the middle. He'll have to go up for the blue here.
Tell you what though, John, he couldn't have landed better there really, could he, off that yellow? Just that little angle just to stun up. He covered it very well, because the first shot in this break wasn't a very good one.
9. Ten.
Just overscrewed that slightly. There is the red to the left of the pink. If he's straight enough on the green, good cueing needed here. But we usually can rely on Ronnie for good cueing, and played that beautifully.
13.
Such a wonderful touch. I mean, just to screw back like that so easily and just put it exactly in the spot you want it.
14.
And of course the black will pot. You see this example of excellent cueing. Perfect control. And now potting this black, flicker red out. Ooh. Well, he should have done.
Misjudgment. He's still got this red to the far right corner, but he was looking for something easier than this. We're right behind it. We're right behind it. Is it there? It is.
Yes, another excellent recovery. This break, and for all the world.
29.
This is worryingly looking like 4-1 for Barry Hawkins.
30.
He's simply got to score when the chances, you don't get many of them, but you've got to score, John, haven't you?
Yeah, and of course, bad mistake when he was in the snooker to leave it that far short and gift this opportunity. So just this red for Ronnie to go 34 points
37.
in front with 27 remaining.
38.
They see it, 39 ahead, 27 remaining. No way back
43.
to the table now for Barry. He did get a chance
45.
early on, and as you said, John, you know, he needs to be taking and scoring off these opportunities.
Yes, I understand there's a great amount of pressure on him, John, but this is what comes with the territory, isn't it? When you're playing the final of these big events, you're going to be under pressure.
Well, it won't matter about the brown, that will be enough. Barry Hawkins stays in his seat. Okay, Ronnie was fortunate to get the snooker flipped off the brown, snooker behind the green, but he should have made a better attempt than that to get it safe. Ronnie now leads 4-1. I like his manner around the table today, John. He's not, and through the tournament, I know he's been critical of himself, but he's not going too far. You know, years ago, you felt as though he was going to throw his toys out the pram and wouldn't even attempt the next shot.
No, he said that about him himself. I listened to an interview as well before. He was saying, you know, he's pleased with himself that he hasn't let it get to him, even though he's not been playing at his best. And of course, you know, he's got very exacting standards, doesn't he? And he sets really high standards for himself. You heard Stephen, another great champion in the studio, as is Steve Davis, saying, you know, the high standards don't like to play anything less than those high standards. So, no, his attitude's been fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And he's hitting the ball pretty well. Very big frame for Barry Hawkins this though, John, as he starts running away into the distance here if he goes 5-1 behind.
Settle down, please.
Yeah, like all great
Frame
players,
6. Ronnie O'Sullivan
once
to
they
break.
start building up a lead, they don't look over the shoulder too much. Well, he sent a red up to the other half of the table, but it's covered by the brown, I feel. Well, he can get through to it. Well, is he going to take the pot on? Figuring the only red he could leave is the one he's playing. Oh, tremendous pot. Needs the cue ball to slow up. Great pot. Tough black if he decides to take it on.
Yeah, don't blame him
Barry
for
Hawkins
refusing
won.
that one. If it was absolute guaranteed position off it, he may have been tempted, but it was a very difficult shot. And Ronnie's safety looks to be improving every frame as well, which is worrying.
Yeah, good escape this time. And a good return to baulk from Ronnie there. And to strike down, lots of right-hand side. There's an avid snooker fan. He's got his earpiece in, Paul Martin. Love it. Flog it. Well, catching the baulk colour. Has left the cue ball near the baulk line, but no easy pot to go at for Barry. And of course, now being 4-1 down brings its own pressure. Don't want to be taking too many risks. Well, we say when you're playing that type of shot, always air on the side of it, isn't it too thin, but didn't hit that well at all. Wow. That was a long, long way away from Ronnie.
Yeah, Wasn't great by his standards, but I tell you what, John, he's not having a bad run of the balls at the minute. He had that flick off the brown in the last, put Barry in all sorts of trouble. Could have left this one a lot easier. So despite the fact he's playing pretty well, the snooker gods are looking down kindly on him at the moment as well.
Well, nice pot, just about on the blue, but there's not a colour on its spot at the moment, so not the easiest of chances. Not certain. Okay, we've got the blue on the spot, not certain where the pink
6.
will go if he eventually gets on the pink.
Seven.
Control that nicely.
Yep, pink will go back on there. No trouble. And whilst this isn't a brilliant chance, Barry, you've got to score.
That was a bad misjudgment. Wanted to run past the pink. Okay, you can still pot it, but you can see hampered by the reds. Awkward queuing. Cue ball's just about slowed up in time, but I don't know if the pink's available into the opposite corner as this red.
Yeah, he's going to be playing the red on the right with the rest, but if he could screw back to the angle to leave himself half ball on the blue, he can play into that pink and red together and try and split the pack up a bit. So if he could just get it, but as ever, difficult to judge sometimes, John, with that cue extension on, isn't it? Just changes the weight and the feel of your cue.
Yeah, and particularly when the balls are close together, because you no sooner hit it, you're trying to get the cue out of the way. So in and out of balk. There's a couple of reds near the top cushion he could play for. Doesn't want to catch the bump of the middle pocket. That's not what he wanted.
25.
Well, it looks as though he can just get through to this red, but it's missable. Maybe he couldn't because he hit it much too thick. Well, he won't be too unhappy the way the cue ball was finished tight to the green. And Ronnie won't be too unhappy with that either.
Yeah, tough queuing, and just got to avoid the cannon on playing off the red, which he managed to do. That was about as good as he could do from there.
Yeah, so badly hampered by the brown, he can't play safe off the main bunch of reds, so he's forced to play this red. Oh my word! What a pot that was! Could not hit a ball on the cushion, cleaner than that.
Yep, sometimes you have to hold your hand up and say, what a shot that was. Unbelievable cueing to hit that well and get the work on the cue ball to bring it out for the pink. Incredible shot.
And that's handy for Ronnie that the pink wouldn't go on its own spot on the black spot. There's one loose red, but you think he'd take this opportunity to cannon into the main bunch now. Well, he's played for the loose red. No one ever questions Ronnie's shot selection when he's in amongst the balls.
14.
But I think the pink will go on its spot now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnson. Interesting way he's gone about that, isn't it? You would have thought beforehand he would have got the pack out of the way.
22.
No doubt he sorted something else out. But it's certainly a more difficult break than it would have been if he'd potentially opened those reds up earlier.
28.
Now, it's not often I question Ronnie's break building and shot selection, but it's a strange one that. He had a nice angle on the pink to go and cannon into the cluster. Played for the loose red that was occupying the pink spot, and then he was always just a little bit short of pinpoint position. So an unexpected end of visit. Wants his cue ball to bounce, and it hasn't. There's one loose red at the end of the cluster. He can play for this in the opposite middle. He's going to play the blue if he's got that type of angle. Well, he's trying to screw back. Tough shot, this, digging in.
Yeah, it's about as good as he could do, really, with the blue up being off its spot, wasn't it? Blue wasn't, because the blue is further up towards the balk end and not on its spot. He was obviously pretty straight. Yellow and brown being off the spots doesn't make the situation any easier for him either, because even if he drops this in, it's only really the green he can play on. Or can he hold it for the blue? No. And you see the cue ball running away. Now then, has he got the angle off the side cushion with this green into the pack? This is a big shot coming up. Goes right, could be his frame.
I must admit, at first look, it looks a natural. Well, he's caught the pink rather than the reds. Okay, he may have this red to the right middle, but it's not ideal.
Barry Hawkins, 10.
You'd love to have that cue ball nestle but on the yellow, but Ronnie can just cue past it, as you can see. Made all the difference. But Ronnie at that little bit too thin, so Barry with his hand on the table. You'd expect a better safety shot. 8 points the lead.
You've got to be a little bit careful with this one. The one he was lining up on there, Ronnie, to play that safety shot, because he'd be knocking the red towards the corner pocket. Those two reds that are together. If he plays off the right-hand side of one of those, that was what he was looking at initially. He's changed his mind.
Yeah, it's a clever shot. Played it in such a way that he knew he was sending the cue ball near the top cushion. And the only red he could possibly leave was the one he was playing. So it wasn't played without any thought. And there you see it. Barry can't get through to the potted angle of the red in the baulk end. Well, we can play this to the far corner. He played it thinking the only red he could leave was the one he's playing, and isn't it always the way? That's exactly what he's done.
One.
Yeah, position wasn't easy to attain there. This is one big shot coming up on the blue. Nice stun down for those two reds. Good cueing required. Well, he played the screw back onto the red. Played the other way. Didn't have the angle to stun over.
6.
Just about.
Yeah, my
Seven.
old dad used to say, wiped its feet. But in it went. Now, quick glance at the scoreboard. He's 1 point in front. Sorry, 1 point behind. So he's going to need the brown.
Very good maths, JV.
I used to sit in my chair wondering what my opponent needed to win the frame.
13. $14.
Ronnie O'Sullivan starts winning the scrappy frames as well. It's going to be a
20.
very long afternoon. I expect Ronnie to win those games with a nice and open, and the balls are in play, and he's
21.
scoring as well, but his match play is looking very good as well.
Yeah, you complimented me actually on my good maths. I thank you at the time, but he doesn't need the brown as it turns out.
27.
Just yellow and green, and this yellow's no gimme. Good cueing needed here. So
29.
that puts Ronnie 21 points in front. This green to go 24 points in front with just 22 remaining. And it goes. Barry Hawkins needs a snooker.
Brilliant contribution from O'Sullivan. It really has. It's not there, the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 36. Yeah.
Barry
And the frame.
Hawkins has had enough. And the frame goes away again. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan, very worryingly for Barry Hawkins supporters. He goes clear at 5-1.
Very easily. I don't think he'd be coming in and saying, I didn't feel great. He'd be delighted that he put in a great performance for the whole week.
Okay, as we've mentioned before, this is his, astonishingly,
Thank you.
Ronnie's 11th final in
Frame
22
seven.
years
Barry
in
Hawkins
this
to
Masters
bring.
event. And it looks like he could be on his way here unless Barry has something to say in the next couple of frames. 2 more to play this afternoon.
Just a bit short with the break-off shot. Little grimace from Barry there. He knows he's left this red to the right corner. But not punished.
Yeah, they're obviously not easy shots, those, but his long game hasn't quite been as good as it was early in the week. I think it was against Mark Selby. It was absolutely sensational. One of those matches where he just, everything he looked at, he knocked in. And here's an opportunity. Stephen's quite right in the studio. I've been saying it for the last couple of frames watching. It's just been awkward for Barry. He hasn't quite had the cue ball, and the chances he's got have been awkward. It can happen. Some afternoons you come to the table and everything seems easy, and other afternoons you have to scrap for everything you get. But this is a good opportunity.
8.
And if he was in the form he was yesterday against Judd Trump, I could see him making a big break. But he's 5-1 down in a major final against the best player who's ever lived.
Yeah, he's not made a 50 break yet in this final. Well, he's just about on a red.
16.
The one that's just to the right of the pink, to the right corner, but it's not what he was looking for.
Yeah, even that shot, I mean, when he played yesterday, everything seemed to be landing perfectly after he's played the cannons, and, you know, a couple of shots ago, you wouldn't think he'd need to have had to play that, but even this has got a greater degree of difficulty in it that it should have had.
17.
Ball just running a little bit awkward. Just not quite right with the cannon. And it just puts pressure on you, John, doesn't it? Just shot after shot.
Yeah, and as we say, and Stephen Hendry says it on many occasions, when you're not getting perfect position, it just knocks you out of your rhythm. If you're perfect, then you go round, you just knock it in, play on the next one, but every shot has to have a little bit more difficulty in it. And it's caught him out. It's caught him out.
Barry Hawkins, 17. Thank you.
Cue ball control is so important at this game. I'm not certain. I think Ronnie played that in such a way that he wasn't going to leave much if he missed it. And I think the only pot on for Barry is the red to the left of the blue, but there's pressure on this. Well, he's deciding to play safe. This final, of course, best of 19, first to 10. So no real need to start pushing the boat out and taking too many undue risks. So good choice of shot, really.
Yeah, don't fault him in the slightest for that one. This has got a degree of difficulty with it. Just getting back down to the baulk area is tough with this one. Could easily contact something on the way back if you don't hit this right. But well played. Back on the table from Barry there. Yeah, and you don't want to start chasing the game. I agree with you, JV. Sometimes, you know, you look at the scoreboard and it's 5-1. What you don't want to do is start playing the wrong shots.
Is the yellow going to come to his rescue? I think it has. It's always dangerous, of course, to knock a red over or near a corner pocket. Played that nicely. Okay, he's not going to have the yellow to make the cover, but he had to play that with a lot of right-hand side. Coming off the side cushion first. Sometimes you can get down and look at these and think, well, with that red being close to the pocket, it makes the pocket look a little bit bigger.
A problem ball here, of course, for all the safeties, the pink, because that's what they're trying to avoid. Barry should do it easily here. How's the cue ball? Is it up behind the yellow? No.
No. And he may have had half an eye on knocking that red in, but easy enough plant. You may have to just bend it slightly.
1.
And if he's not on the pink, he's got a tricky black. And he's not on the pink. This is a tough shot on the black.
Goodness me. That's a great shot, that was. Beautifully cued. A very tough pot indeed.
8.
Never looked anywhere else, did it?
It's a lonely seat that Barry's in at the moment.
Nine.
And with the ball spread like this, Barry will be fearing the worst once again. This is a great opportunity for Ronnie.
$14. $15.
He deserves everything he gets in this break after that wonderful black. That really was fabulous. I'd have
21.
been a little disappointed not to have been on the pink when he played that plant.
22.
I need to play for that loose red on the top cushion there. Why take the risk? Plenty of reds in the open.
29.
Yeah, there's Barry, as I say, wondering whether he'll get back to the table.
30.
I think that he'll be thinking as I am. The odds are he won't. Because there's only one awkward red, really. That's the one near the right middle, but Ronnie can get past the winning line
36.
without needing that.
Yes, John, that's why I like my golf these days. The one thing about golf is you've got your own ball, haven't you? You're sitting there in that chair watching Ronnie O'Sullivan play with one cue ball. You just sit and watch. There's nothing you can do about it. At least in golf, if someone makes a birdie, you can do one straight back with your own ball, but not here.
43.
You're just sitting there
44.
and hoping he's going to miss.
.34 points the lead.
51.
3 of these remaining reds would be more than enough.
52.
And our two great champions who are sitting in the studio this afternoon, Steve Davis and Stephen Hendry, will be appreciating this performance.
58.
Because if you got behind to those two, they were relentless.
59.
They might be nice guys now, John, but they weren't when you played them.
No, they've mellowed over the years, haven't they? This needs to be a perfect length because he's got into this too much. 47 points to the lead.
64.
He needs this red to go 48 points in front with 43 remaining. He's left this red a little trickier than it should have been. But he doesn't have to do much, just pot the red. It's there.
65.
He's in the zone at the minute.
70.
His cue ball control pretty much exemplary. Barry struggling for
71.
position. It's the difference at the moment.
Well, if it had just got the right
77.
line, he played it the perfect weight to just nudge that red over. Double? Oh no.
Thank you.
Anyway, it didn't matter,
Yes,
the frame was
77.
over, so once again, Barry got him first, has to say, but he's just not scoring, and he just can't keep the cue ball as tight in position as Ronnie O'Sullivan's doing. And it's 6-1.
He'd lost the cue ball, and he missed the pink with the long rest. And it just compounds, you know, missing chances when you're in amongst the balls with a good chance, that's debilitating.
Yeah, and of course, Barry, when he played that safety, left Ronnie the plant. It was one of those that Ronnie couldn't really get the cue ball away from the cushion. And then he was left with this very tough black. And believe me, these are difficult, but he just, look at his head, still. And that black, as John said at the time, never looked anywhere else but right in the heart of the pocket.
Thank you. The final
Great
frame
pot.
of this session.
And one in the frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So he breaks off in frame 8, and at the moment, well, if you were talking to Barry and saying what can you do, you're just playing for a bit of pride at the moment. Still can't see him winning this match even if he's 6-2 behind, but just needs to get back playing like he did yesterday. He was fabulous in that match with Judd Trump, and if he can just get a little bit of momentum going, and that will help. Long shots like that.
1.
Well, I'm not certain what he's on here.
6.
Can he just get past the pink to cut this red to the right corner? Must be able to. He did. Good shot.
7.
But wrong side of the blue. Had to put all his efforts into the pot. Well, that's the problem when you're running in and out of balk. You've got to miss the balk colours. And you would suggest that's end of break. There is a loose red to the right of the main bunch for the right corner, but that's much too risky because you could pot the red and not be on a colour. So I can only see a safety here.
Barry Hawkins, 12.
Yeah, tough afternoon for Barry. Played a good safety there, though.
you can't beat a bit of luck, and at the moment you get the feeling that Barry needs it, so hit that safety all wrong, and, well, fluke the red.
Barry Hawkins 1.
I think he's just about snookered Ronnie on all reds here. Well, maybe Ronnie can just get past the green. Well, he was down playing as though he could. He can't. Was trying to nestle on one of those 3 reds just to the right of the black. Oh, he's played a completely different shot. Not quite certain what that is, but then again, I'm looking at the situation and maybe that red he's just hit won't pass the yellow into the left middle, so that's why he thought it was not dangerous to play that type of shot. Well, the flick on the brown has not affected the safety. And there's lots of pressure now on Barry with these safety shots. The reds are spread. Whatever he plays, he's got to catch it just right. Too thick.
Yeah, it's a bad day at the office for Barry at the moment. Safeties, well, when he came out one before, he was short, rolling up to a red, and that one was far too thick. Game's just not quite there at the moment, and unfortunately, it's in the final of a major championship. And playing the player he is, it's becoming exposed. He's a much, much better player than his performance today. We all know that. So he'll be disappointed.
Played that pink very aggressively. Trying, I think, to try and loosen the pink spot. I was unlucky he didn't. He didn't want the pink to go up on the brown spot. He was just a fraction away, there you see it, of making the pink spot available. Two reds for the price of one.
9.
Yeah, needs to pull out another good shot here. Pretty thin, this blue. But no problem.
14.
He's doing what's required, John, isn't he, today, Ronnie O'Sullivan? Good match play, good attitude.
15.
Yeah, absolutely. We said that earlier, and we've seen that during the week. I've been liking his attitude. I know that he comes in and does his press conferences and he says how bad he's played, but he sets such high standards, and to be honest with you, even us watching, we expect those high standards to be coming all the time, but a roll of the ball, a little nudge this way or the other can soon spoil your rhythm. So he's stuck at it. And when you consider, and let's not forget, that he came into this tournament having had 9 months off. So he's bound to be a little bit rusty.
Yes, and 9 months off, coming straight into the top 16 tournament. At least when he had 11 months off that other time and won the World Championship, he had the chance to get into the tournament with a first frame. There's the first match, I should say, at the Sheffield is first to 10. So he had a qualifier to play, so he used that. Actually had a really tough match with Marcus Campbell, but he used that match to tune himself up. But here, right off the bat, you've got a top 16 player and a best of 11. And this is a marvellous performance.
Just gone slightly wrong here. Just having to drop the pink in and play for the cut on the red into the right corner. You wouldn't think it'd cause a problem. 28 points the lead. So 3 reds, 3 covers to win 7 of the first 8 frames. And going tonight with a 6-frame advantage.
Just come a little awkward on the pink, so change your plan. But once again, beautifully controlled. Look at that cue ball control.
47.
Excellent.
$48.
Inch perfect on the blue. This was the one that John was saying. 40 points the lead now. Quick glance at the scoreboard. Red and a cover, that's all that's required. It's been a bad afternoon for Barry Hawkins.
54.
And it looks certain now that going into this evening's final session, he's going to be 6 frames behind.
$60. 61. $66. $67.
Well, to make the century, he'd have to play the pink. Well, you let us down there, Ron. Have to
72.
get to 73 if you're going to make a century with the last 6 colours. But it didn't matter, it's just a century we didn't get. Barry Hawkins comes off his seat, shakes his hand, but Barry will be very disappointed. OK, it wasn't vintage Ronnie O'Sullivan, it maybe didn't have to be, but it was good enough. 6-frame advantage going into this evening's session. 7-1 the Rocket.
1.
Played it that pacey because he knew, or thought he was going to run into other reds. So I thought if I play it with pace, I'll be able to run through them, but he didn't hit much, and that's why he's finished near the baulk cushion. Just a safety shot to play.
Barry Hawkins 1.
He's tried to cover the pathway down the left-hand side of the table, but I think he's just left a gap for Ronnie at the outside of this red. We've seen that happen a few times this week, hasn't it? And particularly down that side of the table. It's almost like the ball has drifted slightly.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly the same thing. We saw Sean Murphy, the defending champion in his opening match, concede a frame by 3 misses, but Barry not having it replaced at the moment because he thinks there's a possible pot on. But now he's decided to have it put back. And then down that same side, Mark Allen in the quarter-final, he did exactly the same, missed it twice, got a warning, but then made certain he hit it on the 3rd occasion.
Yeah. Neil Robertson as well on that same side, so let's have a bird's eye view of it here. Let's see if the white drifts slightly to the left. perfect there. And the good thing about that is, as far as the frame goes, it brings the black into play.
Yeah, whoever can win the safety exchange now, as you say, Ken, with the black in the open, it'll be a good chance. Gotta catch this then if he's going to play down the left-hand side of the table. The right-hand side of the table is a bit congested. Don't see her. Is there a skate down the right-hand side of the table? Have to be very precise. No, just playing the containing safety. A little short of pace, but that yellow is going to be hampering Barry somewhat. Oh, and that considered, what a superb shot this is. Very well played.
Chance of the red, but very difficult to find the path back to ball care. There is a gap. Well, he might be able to miss the reds with a lot of the left-hand side. No, he tried to find the gap and it was very difficult.
Bramble.
That's the name of the game, snooker. And they don't come much better than that.
Foul and a miss. Barry Hawkins
Wow,
four.
a little bit short of pace, but what a fantastic effort. He's left a very possible chance here. Red into left corner. He's got to go through the gap of the reds again. Yeah, he's found the gap and he's going to be on the yellow. And there's a lovely angle here. If he wishes to pot the yellow off the side cushion and may go into the pack of reds with the pink and try and bring the pink into play if he wants.
Barry Hawkins one.
He was probably concentrating on the position there, and that's maybe just took his eye off the yellow.
Foul. Barry Hawkins.
Well, that was
six.
a little unlucky. Knocking the pink in. Barry, of course, having missed the yellow, was a little bit fortunate not to leave Ronnie a pot on, but that won't do Barry's confidence any good, missing that yellow. He needs to be at the top of his game this evening if he's going to get anything out of this match. Where's the cue ball going?
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan four.
Nice pot. Was hoping for a little cannon on that green, so it'd be on the blue for the right centre, but we've got a tricky pot to this left centre. But the cue ball will be going up towards the reds.
Couldn't have cued that green much better. Looking at that, the pink's out of commission. So is the black. So do well, Ronnie, here to make this a sizable contribution. The way they are at the moment.
Yeah, I'd love to get the blue back on its own spot. A little bit straight on it. I'm just wondering, can he get down on that red? The three reds that to the right of the pink. The bottom one pots into this bottom right-hand corner pocket. Could use that at some stage to dislodge the other two, but obviously not on this occasion. It's perfect for the blue now. It was a lovely shot.
Thank you.
Very difficult to generate the amount
15.
of top spinning required to get back up for the blue. So I think that'll be end of break. It was always going to be a very difficult ask to make any sizable contribution, as I said at the time. Where's the cue ball going? Oh! Well, now it's safe. If it had gone in, this would have been a lot easier for Barry. This game, as we always say, all about fractions. Needs the blue to come to his rescue here. I think it has, but there's a red in the middle of the table that's possible. His long potting this week has been as good as it's been for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it better. I mean, sometimes, I said this afternoon, that over the years it has been his Achilles heel, but this week he's been on top form with his long pot success.
Yeah, I think that's about right, 65%, because a lot of the times they play long pots, they're playing as shots for nothing. Every other department of the game, I'm looking for 90% or above pot success, and likewise. Well, can he get this safe? Oh, yeah, he just did well. And there in the audience there is Hayley Turner. Retired, I can't believe it. And with Les Barton, great follower of snooker, goes to all the tournaments. Great friend of Ronnie's and all the snooker players. Why did you do it? One of the great jockeys, believe me, I've ever seen, lady jockey. That was very thick, and he'll be lucky not to leave anything here. That was a long, long way away from the pot there. Well, I'm certain Ronnie was convinced he was going to hit that red. It was going to hit one at this top end of the table, and he misjudged it. And even Ronnie can see the funny side of that one. Looked like he was playing hard match snooker, but he expected that red to career into another one. Once it didn't, it was back up the table, and it's a nice, easy starter.
One. Ping pong. Seven. Eight.
Didn't want that little kiss on the red. It's just knocked it into a
14.
safer position. Still got this red with the rest.
Thank you. 15.
Now can he? It'll be difficult to get on his next red. Yeah, he had to put a lot of pace into it. Tried to screw it in off the side cushion, and that
Barry Hawkins,
was quite
15.
a difficult shot. It's only that red that he knocked safe, John. If he hadn't knocked it safe, he could have stunned that pink in and got on that red, couldn't
Yeah. And of course, that type of pink, when you're 7-1 behind, all the more difficult.
One.
But Ronnie's not made the best job of that shot. Just a fraction too hard to bounce off the side cushion.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
A little bit like the first frame of the match. Very scrappy. Barry Hawkins, in the end, won it. And of course, that was the only frame he's got on the scoreboard so far. But he won't mind if it's a scrappy frame. Good tap on the tail from Ronnie. It was a good safety, but there's a possible pot on here. Well, didn't attempt it. And you can see the reason why. Excellent safety.
Just coming off the side cushion, trying to lay on this red on the top cushion, but he's got to be careful. He's going to be leaving a pot on up into the green pocket if Ronnie wishes to take it on. The red just below the pink into the left pots, but Ronnie again looks like he's refusing it. It's certainly a sign, John, you know, with some of the shots that he has refused, that he certainly kept his focus, Ronnie. Okay, he's 7-1 ahead, but he certainly kept his focus. He's trying to keep the pressure on his opponent without pushing the boat out.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking nothing for granted. This red goes. Once again, much too thick. If you're going to miss those, you've got to miss them too thin. Hit them too thick. That cue ball will not go past the blue area, and you'll leave a chance. best positional
4.
shot. Didn't want that cue ball so close to the side cushion.
Five.
Made it look easy. Scores are now level. Still not a straightforward run to the winning line, though.
11.
Well, if you can play the pink here off a couple of cushions, try and get close to that yellow one. Although it's on the left-hand side, it's not a problem for Ronnie being able to use the left hand, but he's come a bit wide of the mark where he wanted to be, so
18.
just a safety shot now. There's such a big target, that brown and blue, and indeed the green
Ronnie
for a
O'Sullivan,
snooker.
18.
So it's the age-old problem. No problem hitting the yellow. Got to get it safe. Now, is that safe? Will he take it on? Doesn't look like. You always look at this type of shot. Is the safety easier than the pot? That's what he's considering. Well, decided that he didn't want to take the pot on, but that's not the best safety. Chance for Barry if he can knock this yellow in.
Just a couple of inches off that side cushion, it would have been perfect for Barry. Oh, so much tougher off the side cushion, and he's opened up
Barry
the
Hawkins, 2.
brown and blue.
Stop calling out, please.
As you said, John, talk about fractions of the game. Another inch or two off that side cushion and he would have been perfect. It wasn't straightforward for Ronnie. Played it as a shot to nothing and he's got the snooker.
Where's this green going? Well, the only hope for
Thank
Barry
you.
that it's dead straight. If it isn't, no, there's a slight angle, so just has to pot it to be on the brown. This brown to go 18 points in front with 18 remaining.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 3.
Well, the chances are coming thick and fast for Barry Hawkins. Can he take this last one? He needs the 4 remaining colours. Needs a bit of help from the blue or the pink, and he's had none. I don't think he'll get another chance this frame
Thank
now.
you. 4.
Not perfect on the blue.
No, I don't even think he can attempt the double either. Will he attempt to cut into the right corner? He doesn't want to knock the blue off the side cushion and onto the top cushion near the black, because Barry will bring that black into play. So
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Well, it's been an amazing frame. This the quality of snooker we've seen so far in this tournament and in this match. Chances not being taken by both players at the moment. And that's a very good shot from Barry. Remember, if he pots the 3 remaining balls, he'll take us to a re-spotted black. And Ronnie can only just get to the edge of this. He's looked to see if he can get to the top cushion first, but I'm not certain he can get enough in behind the blue here. Well, he did manage to leave distance between cue ball and object ball.
looks very straight, doesn't it? So difficult to try and get potted as well as get the cue ball close to this pink. Surprised you didn't say where's the cue ball going there, John.
Trying to stun off the side cushion and get him behind the black. He wants that pink to slow up. He's left the pot on, but whether Ronnie would take it on or not, it's risky. No, just the safety.
For all the barrage of breaks that we've seen during the match, but these are so exciting, these type of frames, Sean.
They are, and it goes without saying how important this is for Barry Hawkins.
Well, it's a good safety shot, but the only problem is, has he left the double? I'm not quite sure what it's on.
Longest frame of the match, this one. The second longest frame was the first frame of the match. Oh, this looks a good length. Oh, super shot from Ronnie. Got to hit it, got to get it safe. Well, you'd think Ronnie would take this on this for the frame. Oh! Where's it going? Oh, no! You cannot believe it. It never ceases to amaze you at this game. When you don't need to look, you get it. What a fluke. All the effort that was put in that frame by both players, and it ends like that. Ronnie O'Sullivan hangs his head in shame. But when he looks at the scoreboard, he won't mind. He's 7 clear, 8-1.
So far in this match, 48 and 46. Those have been his top breaks.
Yeah, and going back to Ronnie, just before we go back, I think the word to use today is business-like. I think that's exactly what he's been all day. He's played to play winning snooker.
He's 2 frames away from
Frame
victory.
10. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Yes, and that's what they're playing for, that Beautiful Waterford Crystal Trophy. And of course, should Ronnie O'Sullivan win tonight, John, it emulates what the great Stephen Hendry did, 6 Masters titles.
Yeah, I think we all accept the way that Ronnie plays, the ability he has. All the records are there for the taking as far as he's concerned, if he's prepared to dedicate himself to it.
A couple of other interesting spectators in the front row. Gem Archer, former guitarist from Oasis, and Andy Goldstein, former presenter at Talk Sport. Only joking, Andy. Very keen, avid snooker fans, of course, always make an appearance down here at the Alexander Palace.
Well, there's worse nudges you could have.
Six. Seven. Put that camera away, please.
It's always interesting to see how Ronnie O'Sullivan goes about making a break. I mean, his priority, he'll be thinking now, how can I get on a red to get the black on its spot? He spotted this one, so obviously the black will go in the opposite corner to this red.
$13. $20. $21.
You'll be a little bit disappointed, just overhit that slightly, played for the blue in the middle, he played in the corner.
$26.
That will annoy him. All them little rubs are going Ronnie's way at the moment. Don't know if Barry can just get past this brown to play the pot on this red. Wouldn't have to do anything if he pots it. Bound to be on the black, but don't think he can. No, having to play the safety. And if it runs as it's heading, Well, but for the kiss on the brow, it would have been very good. But he's left Ronnie here a long straight red, and he's knocked a few of these in this week.
What a shot. What a shot. It's not only the pot, it's the control as well, isn't it? And how sweet he cued that long red. Absolutely beautiful.
9.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you strike the ball that well, you don't have to hit it particularly hard, you know, and that's what he does. He gets right through the cue ball and gets an immediate reaction.
14.
And that's what annoys him, of course, when his last visit, when he misses an easy red. He thinks he shouldn't miss anything.
15.
But he's only human, after all.
$22. 23.
Getting very close to the point of no return in this frame for Barry Hawkins. 56 points and counting.
30. 31.
You made the point, John. It's also it's like his shot time, Ronnie's shot time. It's only 15 seconds per shot now.
Yeah, early on in this match, it was down to 13. I can only think of Tony Drago, who was ever had that sort of average shot time. Well, he only needs a red and a colour. He doesn't want to overthink this. In the end, he just
38.
bit the bullet, really. He didn't want to knock the red safe on the cushion, but he knew just by dropping that red in, it'd be nicely on the pink. Pink's all he needs. And it goes. 70 points to lead. 67 remaining. Another frame. But Barry Hawkins
44.
won't be winning.
45. 51. 52. 59.
Put this red, leave a nice angle on the pink so he can dislodge the red that he knocked safe
60.
a few shots ago. Ooh. Almost.
66.
Well, nearly a lucky 15, but it didn't matter. The frame was well and truly over before that. And apart from the misread, which he didn't leave anything, didn't do a lot wrong that frame. And now he's just one frame away from his 6th Masters title.
Cream of the crop, isn't it? You know, the elite top 60 in play in this one, you walk straight through the door and you know you've got a tough match from ball one. I said earlier today in commentary, something in the Crucible, it's the best of 19 early on, but you play a seed there that comes through to play against. Your seed plays against the qualifier, but this is right in at ball one, and this is an unbelievable performance.
Now, what can Hawkins do to halt this one?
Well, we said at the start of the evening he's playing for pride. I think now he'd love to get us to the mid-session interval, and to do that he'll have to win the next 2 frames. Barry getting up off the shot. Someone shouts in an opportune moment. But when he came out tonight, and we remarked on it, how he embraced the reception he got, and that's tough to do when you're so far behind.
Absolutely. I think you called it right. There's a sense of pride that you want to get a few frames on the board. It's happened to me. I know exactly how he feels. I mean,
Great shot. Tony beat me in the UK final 1 year.
and it was 10-1, and I was just happy to get 1 frame. But that's the situation you're at. You do get a little bit embarrassed out there, and I hope he doesn't, because he's played magnificently all week. But he'd certainly bring the house down if he did get his first frame on the board tonight.
Another excellent safety shot, this from Ronnie. Air of desperation about that one. I didn't see where the colour was going to come from if he potted the red. Well, nothing at this end of the table, so he's going to have to play the straight blue. Tried to force the cue ball through the reds, but good pot on the blue needed. And blocked. Super cueing.
Six. Seven. Twelve. Thirteen.
Cleverly playing the black, and in pulling the black he can just nudge this red away from the black. Make the black available into both corner pockets. Got such a quick thinking snooker brain.
20.
A genius at work, John. That's all you can say.
21.
And the magnitude of this achievement as well is even greater. The fact that his last tournament on the television was back in April at the World Championship, you know, 8.5 months ago.
28.
It's quite incredible.
29.
Yeah, and I was talking earlier on about Barry Hawkins just
36.
playing for pride, but I think that's what motivates Ronnie, his pride in performance. That's what keeps him going, that's what enables him, if you like, to come back after a long layoff.
37.
He just wants to show people how well he can play the game, and he gets very disappointed, and some of his interviews afterwards are a bit downbeat, but because he's trying so hard to show people how he can play. And when he's at the top of his game, which he'll tell you that he hasn't been
44.
this week, he is unbelievable. The greatest player ever. And we're here
45.
to witness it.
$50. 51.
I remember a reporter coming up to me once at the World Championship after he'd had the year out and he came back and won it, and he said, what do you think all the other players will think about the fact that he can have a year out and come back and win it? I said, well, they've just got to appreciate that they're in the era of a genius.
Absolutely.
And it's a fact.
58. 59.
And most importantly, of course, great to see him back. Just wanting one more red
64.
and a colour. You feel for Barry. Put up that great performance against Judd Trump.
65.
He'll be disappointed the way he's played. He's had chances today. But that's frame and match ball, surely.
Yeah. 6 Masters trophy. What a performance. You just have to admire it. And I'm sure Barry will admire it as well in a way.
$74. 75.
Yeah, it's knocked him away from the cushion. He'd love to top and tail this with a century. Believe me, he will try hard to get the ton here. Oh, but not quite. Barry Hawkins will come out of his chair, shake the hand, and Ronnie O'Sullivan say well played. Ronnie will be sympathetic for Barry, who has not played his best today, but Ronnie O'Sullivan, winning the 6th title, proved once again that when he gets his cue out of the case, he is the man to be. 6 times Masters champion, and he wins the Dapperbet Masters by 10 frames to 1. Brilliant!
Article. To quote Jimmy White, you really must be beginning to annoy you now, yeah?
Yeah, I wish he retired, to be fair. I'm so disappointed in my performance today, to be fair, and I didn't give Ronnie a game at all, and I just said to him there, if you thought he was queuing around corners the other day, you should have felt my arm today, because I was all over the place. I didn't feel like I could put a ball in the end, so yeah, it's just the way it goes sometimes, and a bit disappointing, really.
Barry, how difficult was it to follow up that wonderful performance against Judd Trump yesterday? 3 centuries and 2 70s in there, and you come out into this final. It was a very big occasion for you. You got a lot to reflect on. It's the first time you've actually got past the first round. What are the positives you will take away from this week?
Yeah, if someone said to me I'd have got to the final at the start of the week and played Ronnie in the final, then I'd have ripped their arm off probably, but when you get to the final, you want to perform, and I'm just it's hard to take positives at the moment because I'm a bit disappointed the way I performed today. But I played well most of the week, so I'm sure I'll look back at it and think, yeah, I've done well. So yeah, there you go. It's just one of them things.
It is indeed. Barry Hawkins, thank you very much. Well played. Ronnie O'Sullivan, champion of the Masters once again for a 6th time. And I tell you what, after 8 months away, and I know the perfectionist you are, even you must be really chuffed in that performance today.
Yeah, I'm over the moon, you know. I watched Barry play in his semi-final against Judd Trump, and I just thought, you know, I knew I needed to raise my level and play like I did against Selby. And today I was able to do that, and I just think I just managed to manage my emotions well, you know, such a big occasion against someone that I knew was in form, so I'm delighted that I've been able to play as well as I have done today.
Well, you were really down on yourself yesterday in the interview when you came into the studio last night, but I just wonder what's made the difference today. Dr. Steve Peters arrived here this morning, and did that help you?
Well, having him here put pressure on me because I had to behave myself, you know. So, no, you know, I just he just mentioned a couple of things to me, and I was just like, you know, he's right. You know, I knew I just had to just focus on playing each ball and just getting involved in the match, and I was able to do that today. And it was just a shame Barry just never, you know, if he'd have played like he did in the semis, then we could have had a brilliant match. But, you know, I'm just well done to Barry, you know, because he had another great tournament.
8 months away, Ronnie. How surprised are you to be standing here as a champion?
Yeah, I'm never normally surprised that I win tournaments. You know, I'm surprised that I've won my first one back after 8 months. But you know, I still think, you know, if I can produce some form, it doesn't matter how much time you take out. You know, you still have the talent and the game there. So it's just about producing it on you know, when it matters. And I was able to do it this week.
Well, you're now level with the great Stephen Hendry on 6 Masters titles. He's a couple ahead of you in the world titles. And I just wonder, what sort of motivation is it still to keep chasing that now?
I mean, this is just a week, so you can kind of like manage to keep your form it's easier to keep your form for a week, but for 17 days, you know, that's a grind, you know. But you know, I'll give it a go and we'll see what happens.
What's the schedule now? Because I know a lot of people watching will want to know: is this you back on the circuit? Is this you back for the rest of the season? What are your plans?
Yeah, well, I'll play in most of the UK events and, you know, the European events and take it from there, really, you know, and yeah, just play whatever you fancy, really. There's so many tournaments these days, you've got the option to pick and choose, which is great now, you know. We used to only have 6 tournaments, and you've got 36 tournaments, so it's great to have the choices, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presentation party. Barry Hearn, Chairman of World Snooker, John Crucis, Head of Sponsorship at Dapperbet, and the 1984 Masters champion, the whirlwind Jimmy White. The runner-up receiving the silver medal and a cheque for £90,000. What a run to the final it was for Barry Hawkins. And the winner, receiving a cheque for £200,000. The trophy and the title, 2016 Dapperbet Masters champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Your champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, 8 months out, didn't seem to matter. Straight back in, wins the Masters for a 6th time. And just sum up this achievement, because seems to play better when he's had a bit of a break and puts himself under pressure. Stephen comes back and does it once again.
Yes, and I think it would be fair to say, perhaps other than Mark Williams, people didn't perform against him. And I think still to this day, Ronnie O'Sullivan puts people out of their stride because they know how good he is. And he put paid to a few players this week who could have given him trouble. And he looks a lot happier than After his semi-final
sure
victory,
does,
yes.
yeah. I mean, I think at the beginning of the week we did ask him what he was expecting, and he said he just wanted to win a match coming back. I mean, obviously there's a bit of kidology always when Ronnie's concerned, but he didn't seem to be in the most confident form when he came in.
No, as I say, he sets himself very exacting standards, and sometimes you can't win matches playing at your best all the time. So he comes in here sometimes, and as John said on commentary, a bit downbeat and what have you. And he also takes a little bit of pressure off himself. There's a little bit of psychology in there. But listen, he's a fantastic player. We've seen this week he is total box office. I mean, every time he's played it, every session's been sold out. The people are delighted to see him back. We are. It's brilliant to watch. And I thought that performance today was very professional, very businesslike. Played every shot correctly, played hard match play today, and scored when he got his chances. It was very tough to play against.
Yeah, he seemed almost in a different place. I mentioned Dr. Steve Peters, and I know that he came to the venue this morning. We were talking to Damien Hirst about this, and it seemed to make a big difference. Just seemed to calm him down, the right messages in his ear once again, and if not a transformed performance, then certainly an improved one, John.
Yeah, he didn't waste any opportunities, and I say that the shot was there to play the right shot, and there was nothing else played but the right shot correctly. And I thought it was really hard match play. Barry was struggling to get going. Ronnie knew that, and he didn't throw him any lifelines at all. You know, he kept the pedal to the metal, and he just made sure that his opponent was in trouble right the way through that match. It was very, very professional today.
I mentioned to Barry that he must be sick of the sight, obviously, of Ronnie, because every time he seems to take a sabbatical, he comes back and it's Barry that he has to play, and it's just been tough luck in that respect from Barry's point of view.
Yes, but I think from Barry Hawkins' perspective, he said he had a bad day there. He didn't feel comfortable, but I think sometimes the early part of a match can dictate what happens. And Barry Hawkins was left with a lot of awkward shots, and they all went wrong. And the end result from that perspective was that he sort of got into more of a hole as the match went on. And sometimes you just got to go, it just wasn't to be. For Barry Hawkins, that was the case.
Listen, he's turned up this week, the 16 best players in the world, and he's come second. If he, reflects on it, yes, the final's disappointing. Yes, he didn't turn up and play as well as he can.
And it's yet another big three final for him.
Absolutely, he got himself a nice check. Got his confidence boosted. He played very, very well this week. Today wasn't his day. It didn't go his way. He came up against an absolute wonderful champion, but he had a good week.
And he's going to have a look back to that match against Judd Trump and show exactly what he's capable of within himself. Back-to-back centuries, 3 in total, and a wonderful victory to beat Judd Trump, who was in remarkable form himself, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, you can only try your best on the day. I mean, it makes, I think from Barry Hawkins' perspective, it does cement his place in the top 16 properly. Those top 16 places are very hard fought for, and I think he now is a player whose stock has risen, but still, he would love to win one of the big ones.
What now for Ronnie? He says he's going to be a pretty permanent feature for the rest of the season, and clearly in this sort of form, which will clearly get better as we go towards the Crucible, a real threat for yet another world title.
He is, but he's not the only runner in that field. From what I saw in that match with Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, both of those two are going to have a major say in it. Mark Selby, pretty sure he'll turn his form round. He wasn't far away. John Higgins has played brilliantly. We've seen an unbelievable tournament here with tremendous standards, and the way it's worked out this week, Ronnie didn't play Neil Robertson, he didn't play Judd Trump either, and they're two very big players at the Crucible. So it'd be great to have him back, but that's a bigger test. It's 17 days and it's a marathon of the mind.
Yeah, for snooker, great to have him back, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, there's never been a situation where one player's been bigger than the game, but I think he's the closest we've ever had, to be quite honest. And the great Alex Higgins was a big draw. You need the big draws, and the crowd, as you can see, they absolutely love it. With Jimmy White, a similar situation. But the game of snooker is in rude health because of so many good players. How many great matches have we seen this week? I mean, the standard seems to get better and better. The crowd are really being entertained, I think, these days.
They have indeed. And they
What a way to lose a frame. And the defending champion is knocked out by the young man from Northern Ireland. Is he taking this on? Is he taking this on? Oh, what a shot! And Barry Hawkins, first time he's won a match at the Masters.
He's going for the magical maximum. And what a roar if this goes in. Get in there, get in!
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, he's hit it thick.
Stuart Bingham, he'll be over the moon having won his first match here in the Masters. It's been a fabulous match, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, he is back.
What a shot.
Oh, unbelievable.
What a shot. Needs to commit.
Well, how did that drop? It has been absolutely sensational. One of the greatest matches you will ever see. Judd Trump, he wins a classic. 6 frames to 5.
Tough shot.
It's there. What a shot he's played there. And he's perfect on the pink. Unbelievable match. And that's what it means to Barry Hawkins.
You cannot get your breath. What a pot that was. Unbelievable. What a last red Ronnie O'Sullivan potted, and in goes the black. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has beaten the world champion.